What is up, Planeswalker? Stewart6 back with some more Magic the Gathering Arena. And the people have spoken. We're going to be going ahead and going through all of the Guild of Ravnica mechanics for budget decks. This one is going to be Budget Mentor. Now, this deck was not as easy to build as the Surveil one. I've decided that keeping all of the cards into Guild of Ravnica, not a realistic thing to do. So I decided to branch out. I can use non-Guild of Ravnica cards. That said, the majority of these cards are still Guilds of Ravnica. This deck would benefit so much from rares, but we'll talk about that in a moment. This is essentially just a red-white aggressive deck. To that end, we are running 21 lands. Small percentage, but we are only running essentially 4 4-drops. You can consider this a 4-drop maybe, but we're running 10 1-drops, 8 2-drops, 6 3-drops, and 4 4-drops. Nice diminishing curve here, and plenty of burn. Now this burn serves both as removal as well as reach on our opponent. Integrity can help our creatures survive damage-based removal. An intervention allows us to helix something if we need to. In the race it helps, and against control essentially it's just another lightning strike. That is why we're running these 3. That is pretty much the entire reason. We are running Healer's Hawk and Hunted Witness as a 3-3 split. There are potentially better red 1-drops. However, I like Healer's Hawk because of the amount of other aggressive decks that I'm running up against, and the fact that it has evasion and lifelink means that if we can put a single mentor trigger onto it, this being a 2-2 with lifelink helps us a lot in the aggressive mirror matches. Hunted Witness is a card that essentially is meant to make control have a headache. We're able to buff this up a bit with a couple mentor triggers, making this potentially a 2-2 or 3-3, and our opponent will have to get rid of it, and we'll still have that additional 1-1 body to put more mentor triggers on. That is why we're running Hunted Witness. Goblin Banneret is utterly fantastic in this deck because it serves not only as a 1-drop mentor creature, but it serves as a mana sink in the late game. Something that is possible, and it's why I cut down to 21 lands instead of the 22 I was initially running, is that sometimes we do just flood out, and we need to be able to use our mana efficiently. Another fantastic card for that exact purpose is Boros Challenger. We're able to use our mana efficiently once we get to that point in the game. It also is a 2-mana 2-3, which is, decent, bigger than a bear, and it does have Mentor, so we can attack in and buff one of our 1-drop creatures. Fresh-Faced Recruit is only a 2 of. The first strike on our turn is nice, but the fact that it doesn't have first strike on our opponent's turn is a little unfortunate, and it doesn't have Mentor itself, so we can't curve as well going from 2 into 3. Sunhome Stalwart is a 3 of. Essentially, it has first strike, which is why I decided to split it with Boros Challenger. Challenger can't always get in, whereas Sunhome Stalwart is more likely to get in, especially since what you can do on turn 3 is you can attack with Banneret, or excuse me, you have to do this before you declare attacks. You mentor up Banneret with the +2/+0, and then you attack with Banneret and Sunhome gets triggered and becomes a 3-3. It's fantastic. And then next turn, you can essentially just keep trading them off. Whereas Stalwart will be a 3-3, you can plus the Banneret to be a 2-2. Next turn, you buff Banneret. Banneret will be base 4, which can trigger Mentor. There's a lot of nice back and forth triggers with Mentor going on in this deck, it's very nice, as long as we're allowed to do it. Our 3-drop slot is probably the weakest and where it needs the most help. We're playing 3 Wojek Bodyguard and 3 Skyknight Legionnaire. Legionnaire is just another hasty boy that is able to have evasion so we can get through, especially against some of the larger green decks. We're not going to be able to attack on the ground as much. Wojek Bodyguard is fine. The fact that it has to attack or block alone does make playing this on 3 against other aggressive decks a little iffy, but it's fine. It's definitely one of the weaker cards, probably one of the first ones you should cut in order to get some of the rares that I'll mention in a bit. And of course, we are topping out at Truefire Captain. Now, Truefire Captain is no Aurelia, but it's still a very strong card, and here's why. If your opponent is in an aggressive deck, you and them are essentially trying to race against each other. Having this on the field means that their ability to attack into you is much decreased because of the fact that you can just dome them in the face by blocking their biggest guy. Even if you lose your Truefire Captain, that threat alone means your opponent is likely to not attack as often. Hopefully we have one of our flyers out and we can just kind of chip them away while Truefire Captain is leaving things back on the ground. And Captain has 4 power, which is bigger than everyone else in the deck, which means it can mentor all of our creatures. Our lands are pretty bad, to be honest. We have a ton of diversity in the card colors. As you can see, it's relatively even. Obviously, you see 9 and 15, but you have to take into consideration that a lot of these are 1-drops, so we're going to want more plains early, but a lot of mountains late. So our mana base is not fantastic. I definitely suggest trying to get the rare lands for this type of deck because you really don't want to stumble on turn 1. You want to curve out 1, 2, 3. Getting to 4, you're not always going to have Truefire Captain. That's fine, but you always want to have a curve of 1, 2, 3. And the fact that we don't have any of the dual lands means that we're not going to be able to do that 100% of the time. Now, getting into some of the non-budget inclusions that I think you should make, this deck runs into problems against non-budget aggro decks, because non-budget aggro decks can run card advantage. Now, obviously, there is Flame of Keld. I don't like it in this style of deck because we are running a decent amount of burn, which we're not always going to want to fire off just willy-nilly. Experimental Frenzy is a really good card. I don't know if it fits in this specific deck. However, the ability to just keep dumping cards from the top of your library is really good. Obviously, with an additional 4-drop, you might want to run back up to 22 or even 23 lands, but I think the reliability that it provides is probably worth it. If you have them, I would suggest running 2, probably 2, not 3, of them and see how it goes. You might have to increase your land count, as I said, but the card just seems very valuable. I went up against the mirror match, and they destroyed me with just that card. Risk Factor is a similar card, however, I think it's better against control. Since we are running so much burn innately, we can become a little bit less mentor focused and a little bit more red-white burn focused, where we're running risk factors to either have our opponent give us more creatures to attack them with, or just get domed for a lot. Some of the creatures that we would like to be running are obviously Aurelia. I'm not sure if you would take Truefire Captain completely out of the deck. I do like the idea of maybe a 3-3 split, upping the mana base, of course, or maybe a 2-3 split, something like that. But Aurelia is a really strong card. Tajic is also a strong card. As I said, we don't have a lot of strong 3s. Take out Wojek Bodyguard if you're able to put in Tajic. That's pretty much it. It's almost strictly better. And last but not least, Swiftblade Vindicator. I prefer the card over Fresh-Faced Recruit. However, you could probably run like 4 of that card. That's how strong I think it is. If you do go with a more burn route, I suggest only running 3. But it's an incredibly strong card. Now, let's hop into some games. But the deck, I need to preface. I am not a great aggro player. I play mid-range and control because that's what I'm comfortable with. If I make mistakes, I apologize. Going against one shocks. So this hand is actually fine. We want to max out on 2 mountains, 2 plains. That's it. That allows us to double Banneret. It allows us to use the Challenger, I think, exactly once. That's what we want. 2 lands in our opening hand is totally fine when we have a turn 1, turn 2, and 2 other cards that we can play. We are going second, which is, of course, unfortunate. Red decks would like to go first. We've been running it against a lot of Lava Runners, which is very weak. So there are a couple of decisions that need to be made here. Do we value killing this first or playing out our Banneret? I prefer playing out the Banneret because if my opponent does decide to attack, I can also attack. Knowing that I have shock eventually means I don't care as much about the Lava Runner. And I just want to get some sort of board presence out. Now, obviously, my opponent could kill my stuff. Sure, that's fine. So this is first strike, which is nice. That said, I do assume that since my opponent played this, they're playing a lot of burn spells. I've been seeing this is Keld red, I'm almost certain. I've been seeing a lot of red decks that are just dump their hand, a lot of low-end creatures, a lot of burn into Flame of Keld. Another Lavamancer, okay. Yep, sure. And I assume they're going to get another trigger. Yeah, they're going to burn this, yep. So I pretty much need to lightning strike this, I guess. Well, I do have Lightning Strike and Shock, which is very nice. I'm going to do this now. They're only on 2 cards left. I assume one of them is Flame of Keld, to be honest. But I'm also just going to Shock now so I can get him some damage. I'm like never blocking this, so might as well do that now. Obviously, I was not able to play Wojek Bodyguard, but, you know, my opponent burns the Bodyguard. They have 2 burn spells now. These are both 2/2s. The thing can, you know, use its ability in order to get more mana. Like, it just wouldn't have looked good, so. Opponent is down to 2 cards in hand. If I can land another Plains, I'll have one of my strong boys out. Banefire for 3, interesting, just to get the Lava Runner up, I assume. Or because that last card is... It's possible that they did that because the last card is Flame of Keld. I'm trying to decide if I want to get Bodyguard out or just shock this and attack for 3. I could also just hold up Lightning Strike, but I think I'm going to shock this and attack. Wait, no. You know what? I don't need to. I can hold up Shock, and I can attack for 3. If my opponent does something sketchy, then I'll Shock. Otherwise, I could wait for something scarier. I'm not sure what it would be, but I could wait for something scarier. Haste Man. Sure. Let's see. What are you casting? I assume it's a Keld. Light a torch and deliver this letter, were his instructions, which he unfortunately reversed. He lit the letter and delivered the torch. Yeah, alright, that needs to die. So I'm down to 9. Not great. If I need to, I can Bodyguard next turn. I would love to get a Captain down. Well, that's fine. I will just get a Witness down. That's a nice blocker against this. I have Lightning Strike up if I need it, and I'm going to attack. Because I need to kill my opponent at some point. This music feels louder than it has been recently. There we go. Check OBS. Yeah, I think that's about where I want it. Not entirely sure. There we go. Now my opponent might be saying, why didn't he pump his creature? And I definitely could have. Could have put my opponent down to, what, 13? But I want to make sure I'm able to Lightning Strike something if I need to. And I will absolutely block that. They decided not to. I don't think there's a reason to Lightning Strike this, to be honest. I'm worried about what's in their hand if they didn't play it on 5 either. It could just be another land. I think they've played like a land every turn, so it very well could just be another land. Yeah, shut up. It feels like it'd be a waste to Lightning Strike. However, I want to be able to, like, if I don't draw land, I would prefer to pump this and put a counter on this, so I am going to Lightning Strike it. It's possibly, like, incredibly incorrect, but my opponent has 1 card left. I want to be able to, you know, buff my creatures, so. As I said, this may be a mistake. I'm not good at playing aggro, but the people have spoken, and they would like all of the mechanics. Ooh, hello. Boros Challenger is nice. Is it nicer than doing that? It absolutely is. Well, actually, I guess Wojek is better because it just uses my mana more efficiently, so I'll go ahead and attack first. See if my opponent would like to waste a burn spell on one of these instead of my Wojek. Alright, and I'll play Wojek. Obviously, Wojek can't block a Hasty Boy. Just because it has to block with someone else. So, I mean, they are showing that they have Hasty Boys in the deck. Let's see, 3. This has Mentor. So if I play, yeah. So I could double up the Hunted Witness by triggering this. I'd be attacking for what, 6 here? Or I can do math. I'd be attacking for 9. So this would become 3. Both of these Mentor triggers would resolve on the Hunted Witness. This would become a 3. Is that better than just playing one of these? I'd be attacking for... Well, I'd probably put it on the Banneret. Doop, doop. So I'd be attacking for 3. I'd be attacking for 6. Put them down to math is hard 7. I guess I would rather Stalwart. Yeah, I think I would rather play a blocker just so I don't get blown out of nowhere. Looks like my opponent might have a burn spell anyway. On the Banneret, sure, that's fine. So I'm actually super glad that I didn't pay for that, because I would have had to pay before I actually attacked. So really, I can't hit all attack. That's so stupid. Mention that, so I'll be hitting for 5, putting them to 8. Play the... Maybe I play the Challenger. I like First Strike Boy better. It's possible Challenger is more correct, because if I do end up drawing another land, especially if it's a red source, I would be able to buff the Challenger. Whereas in this scenario, I wouldn't technically. Okay, cool. We won. We won because I think my opponent flooded out, but that is why we were only running 21 lands. As you can see, we couldn't hit our 4th land, but we don't need it. We are only running, technically, 4. I mean, actually 7, but technically 4. Going up now against Boros? Boros? I have no idea. All I know is that he is an imposter, and he should be dealt with. So this is the type of hand I was talking about. We have so many... We have so many white 1-drops early that we want a large number of plains. However, our deck is more red than white, so we need so many mountains, so I had an even split. But you have situations like this. That's why I really do advocate running as many of the shocks and checks as you can. I mean, I pretty much can't keep this, right? Like, only one of the cards in this hand is playable, right? All 4 of these require white. I just can't keep that. This is a worse hand, right? I have way more mana than I need, and one too many planes. Like, if this was a mountain, it'd be fine-ish. But the reason this hand is more keepable is that if nothing else, I can trigger, or I can activate Goblin Banneret. Truefire Captain, I'll keep it on top. We're only 1 mountain away. I can pretty much cast this on 1, use it on 2, cast this on like 3 or something. See, this red deck is everywhere, man. Just a ton of haste. Ton of hasty boys. My favorite goblin arts are from are easily from Jund. They're like rat-looking people. I love them. They're great. I hate the green goblins. They look ugly. All right, cool. We got a first strikey boy. So theoretically, we're not doing anything this turn. My opponent could attack with Challenger, buff up the Courier, and I can block the Courier and kill it. Obviously, I would take 2, but that's fine. No reason to attack here. Next turn, I could attack with both. Yeah, I could attack with both. This Mentor would trigger onto this. I'd have 2 2/2s. If he blocks either of them, I can shock. If he blocks this, I shock, kill it before he can kill this. If he blocks this, I trade, which is fine. That's, of course, if my creatures don't die. And it looks like some creatures might die. Stop. Stop it. Stop. Just cast a creature. Cast a bad to play creature. Stop it. Oh, yeah, sure, I don't care. Mentor the Meek is another consideration for this deck. A lot of the deck comes in at 2, I think. Yeah, the majority of the deck comes in at 2, I think, other than Wojek and Truefire Captain. Yeah, so this is another card that you're able to use to get a bit of card advantage. Opponent didn't attack, that's fine. I don't like the plane draw, but I am going to attack. Yes. Yes, I am going to attack, and the reason is, even if he chooses not to block, sure, doesn't actually matter. Only one can resolve. Even if he chooses not to block, I can just shock this before he gets to untap with it, and I'd be fine with that. But what I kind of want is Boros Challenger to block Stalwart. I'm fine with the trade on Banneret, but I would prefer if it blocked Stalwart. And of course it didn't, and that's fine. Because I can just kill Mentor. Do I kill it now? Is that when you cast or when it enters? It's when it enters, but my opponent could be playing the same split card that I'm playing. So I'm going to kill it now. I would love to top deck a red source. I would really appreciate that. Now, that said, I can activate Banneret next turn, and this would become a 3-power first striker. So I'm not in a terrible spot. Now, my opponent could Truefire Captain here. Nope, they just Challenger. That's fine with me. They can attack here, and I'd take 4. See what they have. Another Torch Courier, alright. I'm not a fan of this card. If it's in a Mentor deck, I'm just not a fan of it. So yeah. Okay, so I'll get attack for 5. Sure. That is fine. Ow, ow. Didn't give me a red source. Wojek Bodyguard. I'm really not a fan of Wojek Bodyguard here. I guess it's fine. Because the following turn, if I still don't get another red source, I can attack with all 3. Wojek Bodyguard triggers, hits Sunhome. This would be, I would buff this. This would trigger, I'd hit Wojek. I guess it also means that I do have a decent blocks. You know, I can block these 2 pretty easily. Relatively easily. Wojek can block one of these. Obviously, he can buff itself, so I'm not sure if I would. But yeah, I don't know if it's correct to be aggressive here. As I've said, I'm not a great aggro player. I don't know if I'm supposed to just race. Let's see, if I buff this up to 4, I'd be attacking for 7. They'd go to 9. They'd attack me back for, let's say they buff. That's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That'd be 10. I'd be at 4. I don't like that. The reason I'm saying 10 is because this would be at 3. It would probably trigger on the other Mentor, to be honest. But he'd get a total of 2 more counters, so it's 2, 4, 6, 7, plus 2 is, like, that's 9. I can't do math. Well, that was really bad. I guess it's better than hitting the Truefire Captain, but my opponent can relatively, confidently come in and attack. I guess I get a free kill on one of the Torch Couriers. I think that's kind of all I'm able to do, is get a free kill here. I could block this here, but I just don't think it's worth doing. 2, 4, 6. I'd rather go to 8. My opponent is finally out of cards, so potentially this is fine. Truefire Captain means that these don't attack very well. If I can draw a mountain, I hate you so much. This is fine. This is a chump blocker. Let's see. You can buff one of these. It's 3. I can block 3 power. I think I attack now. I could be super wrong, and I think I die to like lightning strike, but I don't get any value from not attacking. Like I have to capitalize on my opponent not having cards, I think. So attacking for 7. Put my opponent down to 9. Luckily this will have another body, which is very nice. So I blocked the one that's 3 power. Oh, this is not like Goblin Banneret. He doesn't have to do that if he doesn't want to. So I'm either going to 3 or I'm going to 4. Or my opponent might not attack. Actually, if my opponent attacks, aren't they just dead? Because this goes to 4. This would be at 4. This would be at 2. 2. Yeah, if my opponent attacks, I think they're dead. I think that's what my opponent's thinking about right now. They still only have enough to activate Challenger once. And this is kind of the reason I'm not a big fan of Courier. Like, it has haste, which is nice. But, like, what are you going to sacrifice it for to give creatures haste? Like, I would prefer this as Fanatical Firebrand. It also has haste, except you can just sack to ping. So, see if my opponent decides to attack. I don't think they should. Oh, they're going in. They're going in with all. It looks like they aren't. Oh, they are. All right. Well, I'm chumping the... My opponent made a mistake here. Well, I assume they want to get through for more damage. But I'm pretty sure they're just dead. Because I'm not dead. Because this is only... math is hard. 5 damage? Yeah. If they did it beforehand, I'd block the 3, so it'd still be 5 damage. So yeah, either way, it'd be 5. And now I'm almost entirely positive that my opponent's dead. Even if I, like, especially if I draw another mountain. Because, like, yeah, alright, they saw it. I guess they were hoping... I mean, even if I didn't block, I'd still be at 1. I don't think my opponent should have attacked there, to be honest. I think I only played like 2 games. I'll play another. It's like always a balance between should I keep the gameplay short? Should I keep the gameplay long? Going up against Frostbeard. My thought is people typically don't watch the entire video anyway. I might as well just give more stuff for people to watch. This hand is a good hand. We have 1 of each color of mana, and we have 4 playable cards in our hand. Even if we don't draw another land for the rest of the game, we at least have 4 other cards we can play. It's unfortunate, again, that we're going second, but in a race, which I assume this is going to be, we have Healer's Hawk. So, you know, Healer's Hawk into Sunhome Stalwart into Lightning Strike on whatever guy they have. Never mind. That's not a great guy, but... Hey, look, it's another playable card. Go ahead and play Stalwart. I will absolutely attack in the air. I would not trade away my Hawk for half of a card. These ugly goblins. Ugh. Yeah. Gross. Don't kill my guys. I'm seeing this mono red deck everywhere. Act of treason. Alright, yeah, I guess. I'm just going to kill whichever one is... Yeah, so I'm just going to kill that with a Lightning Strike. Ow, ow. Oh, heck yeah, and I drew a playable card to go along with my Lightning Strike. This is the life right here. And Healer's Hawk is going to heal that damage. So I'm gonna win this race. Heck yeah. Do I do it now? I'm just gonna do it now. Yeah, I'm just gonna do it now. They're mono red. They could be playing something I don't like, but... Just kill it. If I draw another mountain, Truefire Captain. If I don't... Sure, that's fine. If I don't, even if I do, I might just like... Well, no, because they like can't kill my Stalwart easily. You suck and I hate you. Apparently they can. Monster. Oh, hello. I'm just gonna attack in the air. Boop, boop. Alright, opponent only has 2 cards left, 3 cards left. And we have 6 damage worth of burn. My opponent is functionally at 5. How dare you? So I have to kill that. Do I block? Yeah, sure. It's another lifelink card. Yeah, so I can just kill this. Get in for some sweet dabblage. Oh, heck yeah. Kill this. I don't play Truefire Captain here because I don't need to. I'd rather just get through. Because that was holding 4 damage back anyway. And I'm like so much ahead in the race. Like, they could play another Spark Tongue. I kill it. I could kill that if I want to. Which I probably will, to be honest. Stop. How dare you? That was not a smart decision. Because now I Lightning Strike your face, and you can never block me again. Because I will put you to 2, and I have Truefire Captain. I'm glad I did another game. Oh, don't attack with that. My opponent, I assume, does not have a non-burn way to get rid of this captain. Yep. Oh, it's nice. I love how in the DeckTech I said this deck has had problems with aggro. And I just, like, wiped, like, nothing but aggro, I think? Alright, let's buy a pack. Packs are fun. Yeah, Guilds of Go, why not? Get some shocks. Please, get some shocks. Or a rare wild card. Got some shocks, that's what I'm talking about. Man, this was a good decision. Thank you, everyone, for telling me to play the Mentor deck. I will be going through all of the other mechanics in due time. I'm not going to do them all back to back, but you'll see them sooner than later. I'd like to thank Easy Mode, Chris, DizzyFam, Radberry, Daniel, Flowerchild, and Chow083 for the support on Patreon. Their support allows me to keep making all of these fun videos that you guys want to see. If you would like to join them in supporting the channel, go ahead and find that link in the description below. If you would like to join us in our conversations on Discord, you can find a link to that in the description as well. I hope you guys liked that video. If you did, go and tap that like button, add a subscription to your mana pool, and cast a comment in the comment section down below. And until next time, I will be one.